So I'm 63. Ron Bowman from New Preston, Connecticut. I grew up in Syracuse, New York, youngest of five, son of an alcoholic, grandson of an alcoholic, underwhelming student. Grew up scared. Just the early memories of my life are there's some good ones, but I found this place hard. Just kind of stuffed a lot as a kid. Grew up educated and went to work and did very well. I had a curiosity and stick-to-itiveness that allowed me to get married and provide for a family. Grew into my own alcoholism and substance abuse and went into recovery at 27 through a 12-step program, which very rigid fellowship. I followed the rules. It allowed me to start a life. Food tasted better, sex was better, I had money in my pocket, and I lived that life for many years, for over 20 years. The life had took me all over the world. I've worked in over 23 countries and 200 cities. I've written 4 books. I enjoyed the gifts of sobriety. There's a bunch of events in my journey that were icky, that needed to be addressed. I started a couple companies in the late 90s. One was a real estate company, one was a data center company. I'm a subject matter expert in data centers for mission critical facilities. And there was a bombing in 93 that was supposed to take down the towers. And at the time, I got a lot of notoriety for being a mission critical expert, so I was on TV and radio. That allowed me to work for this company called Cantor Fitzgerald, who in September 11th lost 658 people. My folks were up there on the 101st and 105th floors, and we were talking to them when they were dying. They knew they were going to die. Get me out of here, we're going to die. And I built their disaster recovery facility in New Jersey. And I went there with my tradespeople, and nobody came. It was kind of like a party that multi-million-dollar party facility, and nobody came. Reluctantly, that phone number got out, and I was talking to folks, the fathers, the mothers, the brothers, the uncles, looking for their people. And just by bad luck, I was the guy telling them that they're dead, that they're not coming home. And I realized at that time, in those moments, that I was giving these people the worst news they were ever going to receive. And I knew it in my gut. I was trying to deliver that information with compassion as best I could. At the time, I felt in my gut that if anybody was built for triage, it was me. My life was triage. I understood hard and difficult moments, and I got this. I didn't want to drink. It didn't push me into relapse. But it was dark. It was dark. So I lost 6 people. Over 8-9 years, I worked for these folks. They became my friends. I lost about 30 friends that day. I was going to 2 services a day. It was dark. I threw up a lot. I cried a lot. But I had 2 smaller kids at home. Had to keep it out of the house, and I just kind of stuffed and whatever. The point being, and how it relates to why I'm here, is you had to walk through it. You had to walk through it as best you could, sober. I was very angry, very angry. So my cure for my rage and my anger was fitness. So I bought a bike in October. I got in the water November, and I started running in December. I did a half Ironman in St. Croix in May, and then did a full Ironman in September. So I go from squishy executive business owner to Ironman in 1 year. That's a lot of anger. I woke up every day and got in Central Park and started with "fuck you, motherfucker, cocksucker." If you were 20 yards in front of me or 20 yards in back of me, you did not want to be around me. Rage, darkness. And that was my salve. That was my cure for my pain, was more pain. With the racing, I did Ironmans all over the world. I swam around Manhattan twice. That's 28 miles. I did multi-marathons. I raced once a month for 15 years. I took the injuries, and I had multiple surgeries, and I started eating the opiates, and I went into a relapse with opiates that was very dark. There's a divorce in there that was very disruptive. So I'm going through a period of darkness, and reluctantly, my now wife and best friend suggested I try some uncommon treatments. It started with ketamine, and that was effective, and the efficacy, in my opinion, waned. I got into the MAPS and FDA study for MDMA, which kind of opened my heart, where I could give words to very difficult topics. There's some real dark stuff. I was sexually abused at camp. My dad had a violent death in St. Croix. I had to clean it up, a lot of blood. There's just a lot of bad stuff happened, yeah. And I'm keeping the stuff in. I think I got it, I think I got it, but I don't. These treatments of ketamine helped my depression, but the MDMA definitely helped. There was some breakthrough there. But I've been stuck for years, and I know it. I used to say there's a monster inside of me. There's a darkness that won't leave. It's a very private darkness, and it shows up in inopportune times. I've got younger children. I have to control my rage. I have to control my temper, and I knew I was off. So having done ketamine and having done MDMA, and I've done psilocybin, that this place was, for me, was kind of like the last house on a dead-end street. And it called me about a year ago, and I put it off, like, nah, I don't know, man. Not for me. I've got these other experiences, and do I really want to do it? And there's a big bet. Coming down here is a really big bet, because if it doesn't work, now what? Yeah. So, and your life hangs in the balance. I've got a beautiful wife and 5 kids, and I could have 25 kids. It doesn't fucking matter. It just, when you're in the darkness, when you're in that kind of pain, it's a very private prison. Yeah. I go through the vetting. I go through the medical vetting. I'm 63. I don't know what the ideal candidate is for psychedelics, but I don't think I'm young, but I'm definitely in pain. I go through the various screening questions. I tell the truth, which I think is important. I'm not trying to get in. I'm trying to tell the truth, because I don't want to be in a place having lied to get in. I want to do some truth telling. Yeah. So I get in, and the waiting period is not long, but during that waiting period, I seriously considered bailing many times. I just don't think so, and that's not for me. I don't know. I commit, and there comes a day where I got to go, and it's a big deal. I've been through intention settings, and intention settings to me feels more like Christmas lists, where you put down everything except world peace, maybe sometimes world peace. So I just didn't feel that was the authentic way to prepare myself for this environment, was making Christmas lists. So I kind of said, let it come, bring it. I was prepared for discomfort and pain. I was unprepared for the joy and love, which I know sounds frothy, but it's what was found here is extraordinary. Yeah, I was prepared for pain. I'm good with pain. I understand pain. I'm reluctant and have been reluctant to accept love and kindness. The self-love thing has always escaped me, and it's been discussed. But the self-love, it was not your fault, always rang hollow to me. And I come down here with, waiting for a van, a bunch of strangers. And kind of like in substance abuse, you try to size people up. What are you in for? What's your trauma? What's your thing? You're curious. It's not nice, but it's what we do. We size people up. And I can't tell you how there's me plus 11. I can't tell you how wrong I was about every single one in terms of what I thought and what I found. That's important information for me because though I had 3 dosings, three drinks of the ayahuasca, and it's been effective, I will leave this place believing in my heart of hearts that the medicine is the people. You can't get down here by accident. There's no way you go through what I went through in terms of the vetting, making the arrangements, spending the money. It's just how wrong I was. But how broken we are. We all have to go through this filter, a private filter vetting of how much pain are you in and what are you willing to do. And what does success look like? Yeah. So we do the 3 dosings. The first dosing for me was remarkably unpleasant, but necessary. I took less the second evening, and it was nicer and similar to the third night. In between the sessions, it's really what in the end the meals, the laughter starts coming out, the self-deprecation, the jabs, the humor. By day 3 or 4, you're talking to people like you've known them for quite some time, and you're talking about stuff that aren't social. It's just only in this environment can you get that kind of camaraderie, love. I know it sounds a little flowery, a little frothy, and I'm not that guy. But what I found here was, I'll leave here knowing that I found love in Mexico. Very important information. People call me out of my shit, Ron, you got to learn to love yourself. Yeah. You listen to that 2 or 3 days, you're like, I guess, they might be onto something. Yeah. The lessons and the messages that I've received about me are meaningful. And it doesn't leave you with a playbook. We don't sit here with a journal and you say, hey, Ron, you said this, and when you go home, you should do this. And it's a personal journey. Mm-hmm. The messages come from inside. We heal ourselves. But I feel fairly sturdy and confident that on a host of topics that I came down with, I know what to do. I have an intuitive, now a sturdy, intuitive message and feeling on various topics that didn't baffle me before, but I wasn't sturdy. I was guessing, and I don't like to act on guessing, but I feel sturdy. I'm leaving here really feeling full. What's another word for it? My trust in what we can be with each other, what we can do with each other, has increased. I think I'm more willing to take risks when I go home. Risks, social risks, putting my hand out, being kind, being available, taking the next step for somebody who I think might be stuck. All these things don't take a lot. It's not like putting a shopping cart back at the supermarket. It's way beyond that. It's when you have pain, you can see pain. I've always said I'm attracted to pain and addicted to courage, and I found that here. I'm pleased I came. The facilities were fabulous. The food, for a kid that grew up on steak and potatoes, that was a change. But it was great. The help was great. There's always a smile. The place is clean. I often wandered the property often wander the property and by myself, just trying to sit with my thoughts, and I found that very helpful. I've never done that before. I stayed off the electronics, and that was very helpful. The NBA playoffs are going on right now, and I tuned out. I'm going home to a wife I adore. I adored her before I came, but I appreciate her more now. I have 5 kids, and I have different messages on how to be a better everything to them, be a better friend, a better father, a better example. I'm feeling lighter, remarkably grateful for the 11 strangers that helped me put me back together.
It's been really good having you here. You brought a lot of medicine to these people too, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
I know. I saw it. I get to watch the whole thing play out. I'm here as a facilitator, but I'm also a fly on the wall, seeing kind of the social dynamics play out. And you were a big part of this week for a lot of people.
Thank you. I feel good about it, man. Like, I felt good before, but I always felt that like bad luck would find me, or it was just a not for me thing. Yeah. I feel like it's going to be okay. I feel like it's going to be okay. Probably better than okay, but I feel it's going to be okay. Yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing, man. That was really beautiful.
Sure. Who's getting yelled at?
Well, I guess we are.
Is that good?
Yeah.